You know, for us, excited to be back on the grass with the guys and obviously competing against one another. You know, when you do so much of these walkthroughs and things throughout the summer, and the guys are training, and you know, today's a chance to get your first glimpse. And so I was happy to see the conditioning of many of the players. It's good to have some guys back that were out last year. You know, to see Isaiah Shirley and Caden Fordham and some of those guys playing for us again. It was fun to see, and they look great. You can see there's some continuity with CJ, different from last year, being a returning starter with his receivers. And obviously we're not in pads, so you know some of the stuff you've got to kind of wait and see on with the blocking and pass rush and taking on blocks and all that. But it was a good first day. A lot of things we got to clean up. Too many drops, balls on the ground, a couple false starts, and then you know guys cramping. It's hot out there and learning how to prepare themselves, obviously, for the heat that it seems like we're going to have for the rest of the week. Questions?
First day for a lot of the young guys who have been some of the young guys that have stood out to you going back to spring camp as well.
When you say young, do you mean like first-year players?
Like freshmen or guys that didn't get action last year stepping up this year too?
I think we're all offensively excited to see Duke Scott. You know, he had a really good spring, so you know, building off of a tremendous summer in the weight room. Spike Soul, you know, young offensive lineman that did a really nice job early in the spring and had a good summer. You know, defensively, there's just a lot of new parts that came in, and so whether they're new or I guess they're all new when you talk about transfers and freshmen, but you know, it's good to see Brian, the corner, transferred in here. He had a good day today. You know, very smooth mover. Ronnie Royal, I thought, you know, took advantage of a lot of reps today. Did a nice job in there. So it's going to be a process, you know, getting these guys into a lot of situational football and competitive drills to see how they handle the load. You know, it's the first day of practice, not a lot of install, but there's a lot of things coming, a lot of competition coming in this training camp that I'll be able to give you a lot more detail on guys after that.
Dave, this is the first time in a long time you've had to replace a couple different coordinators. Does that change where you expect things to be on the first couple days of camp?
You know, in my tenure here, I've had several new coordinators. So, you know, and I look at Kurt differently maybe than the outside world does because I've been with him for so long. I mean, he knows our players, he knows our terminology and how he wants to change it. He has relationships built. So, you know, offensively, it's not the same as bringing in a new face that knows nobody in that locker room. On defense, obviously, it's a different conversation. For me, I've known DJ a long time, so I knew what he was going to be about. There's a lot of new faces, you know, because we had graduations and guys leave, so there is an evolution over there from a schematic standpoint and personnel. And so it's an opportunity is how I look at it more than a challenge. You know, I'm excited for the players because they're getting to learn new things. And, you know, we've had different times throughout my tenure where we've changed, and in each of those changes it's helped us. So looking forward to that.
This may be a little too early, but you've talked about this before, just finding the balance with tackling in the off season so that the guys are ready to tackle in the first game, and then you don't want them to get hurt. Have you kind of gotten closer to what your balance will be for this off season?
Well, we're not in the off season anymore, so you know, with training camp, we've got a pretty good idea how much we want to do. And you're right, you know, it's kind of a slippery slope. You don't want to do too much, but you have to do enough to have them ready. As ball carriers too, you know, it's not just the tackling. You want guys to be able to protect the football when it's live. And now you got people pulling them to the ground, and the ball can come out. And so there's a definite need for that. You know, we'll have 2 full scrimmages, and then we'll have some situational scrimmages where we get into short yardage and goal line and backed up where you want to get into those, you know, 4-minute offense where, hey, can he finish a run? Can we stop the guy from finishing a run? So you just got to really use your gut as a head coach. You get a feel for where you're at and what you need, and with their safety in mind, and also having them ready to go play a game.
How much of this camp do you think will be focused on perfecting fundamentals and as opposed to install?
It's always both. You know, I mean, there isn't a good play on offense or defense that has bad fundamentals. There isn't one. And so, you know, every play starts in a good stance. There's a desired technique and finish that you're looking for from the players, and then there's the X's and O's that go with it. And so every single play, all of those little things, and 11 guys doing all those little things at once together is what creates a positive play. So the focus is always on both.
So you've collected a bunch of receivers, put up major numbers in high school. How important is it for one or two or three to break out and basically scare the heck out of defenses?
Yeah, it helps, you know, when you're worried about someone running by you. And then to have the tight ends that we do, the running backs that we do, you know, to have the versatility in the skill positions, it helps. But you don't want DBs to just sit and play catch coverage on you because you won't run by them or can't run by them. And that's not where we're at. We got some guys that can go, and we got to be able to connect when we take those shots too.
Where do you feel like? Oh, I was going to say, where do you feel like the offensive line is right now heading into fall camp?
It's too early to say. I'm excited about the depth we've created, you know, through recruiting and development. There's some really good body changes on those guys. We brought in a couple new guys with Teague and JG, and so there's more competitive depth. But to give you an answer without pads on, you know, we need to wait.
You capped your offseason with the hole-in-one. You know, what was that like for you?
Yeah, you know, to do that with my two of my three sons with me was pretty special, and good karma. You know, when I looked in the hole, I saw the logo of the wolf looking back at me. It just made me laugh. You know, and that's good karma, and it was awesome. You know, beautiful place too. But the best part of it was to celebrate it with, you know, Connor and Luke.
Was that your first one?
It was, yeah.
Which course? Which iron?
60-degree short hole downhill. I was in Missouri. My son's got a job in Arkansas, so we met in Missouri and played. There's this big golf resort down there we played at.
13 could be an unlucky number. Is your 13 on the
No,
ground? Is that a,
my wife's
is
birthday's the
that a lucky?
13th. Man.
Okay, I
That's
was say, is that a
very
lucky
lucky
omen?
to me, yeah. I like that number.
This will be the fourth different starting center in 4 years. What are you kind of hoping to see from the guys that you're evaluating, and what will it take to earn that spot?
Well, you know, the center of your offense and your defense have to be really, really strong. If you're soft in the middle, you got a tough day. Jalen was very consistent in the spring, and so you want that consistent demeanor. Spike, really excited about what we're getting out of him, and so it's the fourth, but we've had a lot of good ones too. You know, each one of these guys, 2 of them are playing, 3 of them are playing in the NFL right now. So, you know, there's a tradition there at that position, and we expect nothing to change. To have somebody in the middle that's strong, that's a good leader, that's consistent. Thank you, guys.